Hi, my name is Alondra Rosario Valdez, and I am going to present with Liliana Pastrana and Ingrid De Leon and Dr. Ricardo Chiesa our investigation that is comparison of potential anxiolytic effects of an organic extract of the brown macroalgae Stypopodium zonale in male and female Drosophila melanogaster using the dark and light box. Our principal reason to this project is that we have demonstrated that there is an anxiolytic effect of an organic extract of the brown macroalgae Stypopodium zonale in male Drosophila melanogaster using the dark light box text. So the objective of this project is to determine if the same effect can be observed also in female flies. The response to stress from male to female can vary due to sexual dimorphism, which leads to the possibility that the required dosage for the pharmacological treatment of anxiety disorders in humans should consider gender differences due to difference in hormonal environment. The objectives of this investigation is to compare the effect of the crude organic extract of the brown algae Stypopodium zonale in anxiety-related behavior of Drosophila melanogaster females and males, and to determine the effective dose of the crude organic extract of the brown algae Stypopodium zonale to evoke anxiolysis in female flies using dark light box. The hypothesis of this investigation is based on previous results published by our laboratory that we predict anxiolytic effects of the extract in female flies, though the effective concentration in females may differ from the one used in males. A bit of background about what is Stypopodium zonale. Stypopodium zonale is an algae that have great potential for study of bioactive compounds. Stypopodium zonale contains antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity, among others, have been isolated in algae. Where Stypopodium zonale is located and collected. So Stypopodium zonale has been collected in Flamenco Beach, Culebra, and Pozuelo Beach in Guayama.
The fruit fly brain contains a population of neurons that have anatomical and molecular similarities to those in humans. For example, there are neurotransmitters in Drosophila that are related to those in humans. In Drosophila, we have acetylcholine. It's the principal excitatory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system. In the human, acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter present in the neuromuscular junction. We also have glutamate. Glutamate in the Drosophila is the neurotransmitter in the muscular joint. And in human, it is the principal excitatory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system. And last, we have GABA. GABA is the principal inhibitory neurotransmitter in the brain, in the Drosophila. And in human, GABA is the principal inhibitory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system. This photo is representing the sexual dimorphism in innate immunity at basal state and physiological responses. But here we're not going to focus on immunity. This photo helps us visualize the difference between the male and the female Drosophila. There are several characteristics that can help us differentiate between the male and the female Drosophila. But the most simple one is the genitalia. The male genitalia is darker and rounded, versus the female genitalia, it is lighter and pointed. Also, the male Drosophila is smaller than the female. The male has a unique characteristic on the forelegs. The male has a small patch of bristles that are visible, and this is the most reliable method for sexing the flies. Sexual dimorphism affecting responses to stress. In the first article, their objective was to evaluate the effect of sex and ovarian hormones on depression-like phenotype in mice exposed to 21 days chronic variable mild stress paradigm. They obtained that the protein expression level of the brain neurotrophic factor was measured, and the male mice stress group had a decrease but not significant. However, in response to the similar CVMS paradigm, the intact female stress group showed a significant downregulation of the protein BDNF. This protein is a neuropeptide associated with depression and few other stress-specific genes. It plays an important role in multiple stress-related mental disorders. This is why it is really important. In the second article, titled Responses to Stress in Drosophila is Mediated by Gender, Age, and Stress Paradigm, during the light-dark bug test, social isolation affected only females, increasing their preference for the dark side of the arena. Females tend to have a significant reaction to stress. The dark light bug test is based on the innate aversion of rodents to brightly illuminated areas and the spontaneous exploratory behavior of the rodent in response to mild stressors. This is novel environment and light. The conflict is between the tendency to explore and the initial tendency to avoid the unfamiliar. These two conflicting emotions lead to observable anxiety as symptoms.
Methodology. After the brown algae is taken from the beach, it will be taken to the laboratory in order to be dried at 55 degrees Celsius for 2 to 3 days. It will be crushed with a heavy-duty blender with dichloromethane methanol 1,1 and put through a substrate extraction in order to obtain the crude organic extract. The dark light box that we use consists of 5 cm of length, 1.5 cm of height, and 2 cm of width. It is made with transparent acrylic. One half of the box is painted with black enamel to create the dark side, while the other will remain transparent. A 60-watt bulb will emit white light atop the clear part of the box. For experimental design, we will have a control group exposed to regular food and an experimental group exposed to food with 1 milligram of the extract. When we obtain 35 specimens of the female Drosophila, a Drosophila will be placed on the illuminated side of the box and its behavior will be recorded for 30 minutes. The first 15 minutes are allocated for habituation, while the other 15 minutes will be recorded for behavioral analysis. After this, the results of the control group and experimental group will be compared. What we have obtained so far for the results for male Drosophila indicates that Stypopodium zonale might have an anxiolytic effect because the experimental group has spent less time on the dark side in comparison to the control group. What we expect for the results for female Drosophila is that they will spend more time on the dark side in comparison to the male because they have additional social isolation as a stressor, and they also have a different microambient of hormones. These are the references and these are the collaborations and acknowledgements.